From the heavens, they descended. Divine beings who set foot on earth. Some say they created humankind. Others believe they became the very gods we worship today. Who were they? Where did they come from? And why did their presence become one of the most mysterious stories in the entire history of civilization? In this episode, we'll explore one of the most debated mysteries on the internet. A mystery that challenges everything we think we know about our origins. Our journey will take us to the deepest roots of human civilization, to the dawn of religion and mythology itself. Together, we will seek answers to questions that have echoed through the sands of time. In 1968, a bold idea began to spread across the world, one that would forever change the way people looked at ancient history. That year, Swiss researcher and author Erich von Däniken published his groundbreaking book, Chariots of the Gods. The book proposed a radical theory. What if humanity's greatest civilizations were not built entirely by human hands, but shaped with help from visitors beyond the stars? Däniken explored ancient monuments, sacred texts, and mysterious ruins scattered across the globe. From the pyramids of Egypt to the Nazca lines of Peru, and from the temples of Mesopotamia to the myths of India. Everywhere he looked, he found one strange connection. Symbols, technologies, and architectural knowledge that seemed far too advanced for their time. This gave birth to a new concept, the ancient astronaut theory. According to this theory, Earth may have been visited thousands of years ago by intelligent beings from another world who shared their knowledge and altered the course of human civilization. Supporters of this idea point to the same unanswered questions that still puzzle scientists today. How could ancient people have built structures that align perfectly with the stars? How could civilizations separated by oceans share nearly identical myths and gods? And why do so many of these myths describe the same thing? Gods descending from the sky, teaching humans the secrets of creation? Däniken argued that these were not coincidences. He believed that ancient humans may have mistaken technologically advanced visitors for divine beings, beings they later worshipped as gods. In the following years, his theory inspired countless debates, documentaries, and researchers. And soon another name would join the mystery, Zecharia Sitchin, whose Earth Chronicles series, beginning with The 12th Planet in 1976, took the idea even further. Introducing the world to the mysterious beings known as the Anunnaki. Our journey's next stop takes us to the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia. Around 4,500 BC, a culture emerged that would forever change the story of humankind, the Sumerians. History remembers Sumer as the first true civilization, the birthplace of writing, astronomy, advanced mathematics, and law. The first hospitals, libraries, and systems of justice all appeared here. It was with the Sumerians that humanity stepped into history. But one question has long puzzled scholars. How could such an advanced civilization appear so suddenly, with no gradual development behind it? How did they learn to build cities, track the stars, and measure time so precisely? Were the Sumerians truly the beginning, or the continuation of something far older? When we look deeper into their myths, a new set of figures emerges, beings called the Anunnaki. Texts like the Atrahasis, Enuma Elish, and the Epic of Gilgamesh describe them as powerful rulers who descended from the heavens, shaping the destiny of humanity. The Enuma Elish even speaks of events before Earth was fully formed, a war among gods and the creation of order from chaos. After this cosmic conflict, the Anunnaki are said to have come to Earth to rebuild and bring structure to the planet, organizing nature and preparing it for life as we know it. Whether we see these accounts as allegory or something more literal, one thing is clear: Ancient Sumerian tablets describe knowledge and achievements far beyond what we would expect from a society of their time. In the 19th century, archaeologists like Sir Austen Henry Layard and Hormuzd Rassam unearthed long-buried Sumerian cities such as Nippur and Ur. What they discovered stunned the world. Thousands of clay tablets covered in cuneiform writing, containing stories, laws, and knowledge that seemed almost modern. As these texts were translated, humanity began to realize something extraordinary. Our history might be far older and far more complex than we ever imagined. In nearly every major religion, the creation of humankind is told as a divine act of love, a gift from the gods to the world. But in the oldest stories, the truth is far less comforting. Thousands of years before the scriptures of modern faiths, ancient tablets from Mesopotamia, the Enki and Ninmah texts, and the Atrahasis epic describe a very different beginning. In these accounts, humankind was not created out of love, but out of necessity. According to the Sumerians, when the Anunnaki first arrived on Earth, they found it wild and untamed. To survive, they needed to build cities, plant crops, and dig canals. But the Anunnaki were not alone. Serving beneath them was a lower order of divine beings, the Igigi. The Igigi were the laborers of the gods. They built the temples, dug the rivers, and prepared the land. Their duty was to serve the Anunnaki, to maintain their homes, their fields, and their food supply. Some texts describe them as divine, yet dependent, immortal, but bound to endless toil. Over time, the burden grew unbearable. The Igigi toiled day and night under the weight of the gods' demands. Their cries rose to the heavens until one day they could take no more. They rebelled, refusing to serve any longer. The rebellion of the Igigi became one of the first revolts in the mythic history of the world, a story of exhaustion, defiance, and consequence. Faced with this crisis, the gods realized something had to change. And so the god of wisdom and creation, Enki, began to search for a solution. He was joined by the mother goddess, Ninmah. Together, they would attempt something no god had ever done before: to create a new being that could take the place of the Igigi, a being that would carry the labor of the gods. The age of humankind was about to begin. When the rebellion of the Igigi shook the heavens, the gods realized they needed a new kind of being, one that could endure labor and serve without revolt. Enki, the god of wisdom and creation, and the mother goddess Ninmah began an extraordinary experiment. From the clay of the earth, they shaped a form, a vessel that would carry the essence of both God and mortal. They mixed divine blood into the clay, giving it life and awareness. But creation was not easy. The first attempts failed. Some of the beings could not move. Others could not speak. Some were born deformed, others lifeless. But Enki and Ninmah persisted. They changed the mixture, adjusted the ritual, and tried again. Finally, after many trials, their creation succeeded. A being both physical and spiritual, strong enough to work, intelligent enough to learn, and obedient enough to serve. The first human was born. His name, according to the tablets, was Adapa, a being crafted by Enki's own hands and blessed with understanding. Enki loved him deeply, raising him as his own child. He taught Adapa the laws of the earth, the secrets of creation, and the rhythms of the stars. Knowledge, the true gift of the gods, was given to humankind. From that moment on, humans began their service to the gods. They built temples and fields, brought offerings of meat, fruits, and wine. The labor once carried by the Igigi now belonged to mankind. And thus began the age of divine servitude, a new world where gods ruled and humans obeyed. Throughout the ancient Mesopotamian tablets, one detail returns again and again: the gods' obsession with gold. The Enuma Elish, Enki, and Ninmah, and the Sumerian king list all mention the Anunnaki's deep connection to mining and precious metals. Gold, in particular, was not just a symbol of wealth. It was sacred, a divine element linked to the very essence of the gods themselves. Some, like author Zecharia Sitchin, have speculated that the Anunnaki used gold to repair the atmosphere of their distant home world, a theory still debated and far from proven. Yet one fact remains: the Anunnaki placed immense importance on this metal, treating it as a material of divine purpose. Across thousands of years and cultures, gold retained its sacred status. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs were coated in gold dust and liquid gold to appear as living gods, a practice believed to reflect a tradition inherited from divine ancestors. Egyptian myth described gold as the flesh of the gods, a metal that never tarnished, immortal and eternal, just like the deities themselves. The same reverence appeared elsewhere. In Greek myths, the gods lived in golden palaces. In Hindu legends, temples were adorned with gold to honor the divine. Everywhere we look in ancient history, this metal is a bridge between the mortal and the eternal, a symbol of purity, power, and immortality. We still don't know why the Anunnaki valued gold so deeply. Perhaps it served a purpose we can no longer comprehend, or perhaps its true value was never physical at all. What is clear is that gold became the universal language of divinity, a reminder of a time when the gods walked among men, and their shimmer still lingers in our world today. For the Anunnaki, gold was divine. For humans, divinity itself became gold, something to worship, to fear, and to imitate. The ancient texts tell us that the Anunnaki were not spirits or ethereal beings, but flesh and blood, living, breathing entities with human emotions and desires. They loved, they envied, they felt anger and passion. They ate, they drank, they fought. They had beauty and ugliness, kindness and cruelty, just like us. Only their strength and knowledge set them apart. So why did early humans, standing before these powerful beings of flesh and bone, call them gods? It's a fair question, and yet the answer is disarmingly simple. When humans encounter what they cannot explain, they clothe it in mystery and crown it with divinity. And that is how worship was born. From fear, from awe, and from the eternal human need to give meaning to the unknown. When we speak of faith and worship, we often imagine temples, gods, and sacred rituals. But sometimes, belief is born from something far more unexpected. During the Second World War, the United States built a military base in the northeastern part of Papua New Guinea to halt Japan's advance. Cargo planes flew constantly over the region, dropping food, medicine, and supplies by parachute for the soldiers stationed below. Some of these parachutes drifted away from the base, carried by strong winds, and landed deep in the jungle, near the villages of isolated tribes who had never seen airplanes or modern technology before. To them, these flying machines were nothing short of divine. They saw massive metal birds crossing the sky, bringing food and gifts from the heavens. They never met the soldiers or understood what war was. They only knew that the sky had begun to feed them. When the war ended and the planes stopped coming, the tribes grew desperate. The gods of the sky had vanished, and their gifts no longer fell from above. So the tribes decided to call them back. Using bamboo, they built simple replicas of the great flying machines they had seen in the sky. They prayed and performed rituals beside these bamboo plains, believing that if they showed their devotion, the sky gods would once again send their blessings. To the outside world, it may have looked like a strange misunderstanding, but in truth, it revealed something deeply human: our instinct to worship what we cannot explain. From the first spark of civilization to this remote island in the Pacific, human beings have always looked to the heavens for meaning. Now imagine the first humans thousands of years ago looking up to see enormous radiant beings descending from the sky, wielding power and technology far beyond their comprehension. Would they not have done the same? Would they not have called them gods? As humanity multiplied, so did its voice. The world grew louder, filled with noise, unrest, and defiance. The ancient texts tell us the gods began to complain. Humans were no longer serving as they once did, no longer obedient, no longer humble. They had begun to see themselves as divine. Among the gods, Enlil's patience broke first. To him, humanity's disobedience was not just insolence, it was corruption. He looked upon the earth and declared it unbalanced. And so, he made a decision that would forever divide gods and men. He would cleanse the world with a flood. The Council of Gods agreed. No warning would be given. All life would be erased, so that a new, more obedient creation could rise from the ashes of the old. But not all among them shared this wrath. Enki, the god of wisdom and compassion, could not bear to see humanity destroyed. Bound by the council's silence, he could not speak openly, but he found another way. Through a dream, he reached out to a mortal man, Ziusudra, later remembered as Utnapishtim. He whispered to him of the coming storm and told him to build a great vessel. "Gather your family," he said, "and the seed of every living being. Preserve life, for it must not end." The rain came. For 6 days and nights, the heavens opened. The earth shook, the mountains vanished beneath the rising sea. Cities, temples, and songs of mankind were swallowed by the deep. Only one ship remained, adrift on endless waters. Inside, a man, his family, and the promise of another beginning. When the storm passed, silence fell, the kind of silence that follows rebirth. Ziusudra released a dove. It flew into the horizon and did not return. The flood had ended. Life had survived. But when Enlil learned that life still existed, his rage returned. He wanted to punish the one who defied the will of the gods, and yet it was Enki who stood before him, pleading that compassion, not vengeance, should rule creation. In that moment, balance was restored, at least for a time. The Great Flood was not merely destruction, it was a reset, a divine reckoning between wrath and mercy, and it marked the beginning of a new age, an age where the gods would step back and humanity would begin to walk on its own. When the waters receded and the storm was gone, the gods withdrew from the world. Their cities turned to dust, their voices faded into the wind, and mankind was left alone, to rebuild, to wonder, and to remember. In time, new civilizations rose. The Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Hindus, the Greeks. Each carried fragments of the same story, of gods descending from the heavens, of floods, of creation of forbidden knowledge. And as the ages passed, those fragments took new forms. They became myths, legends, and finally, faith. Stories of divine wrath and salvation reappeared. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, in the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. Different names, different languages, yet always the same pattern. The flood, the chosen man, the gods who saved a remnant of humanity. So perhaps the great religions of our world are not the beginning of the story, but echoes of something far older. A memory passed down through generations of beings who came from the sky, who shaped us, guided us, and then vanished into legend. And maybe, when we pray to the heavens, we are not just seeking divinity, but calling out to those who first walked among us.